The Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
Fatboy Slim himself, Norman Cook. Welcome.
Welcome, Norman.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
You obviously, we were talking off air about the fact that you've been following the Prime Minister. He's been following you, actually.
Yes.
Prime Minister of Australia's been following you around local radio stations.
Someone sent me a clip of him DJing.
Yes.
Trying to mix right here, right now. So he's a cool sounding Prime Minister.
Yeah, he loves his music. He's right into it.
How'd he go at it? Was he any good?
I think, yeah, it seemed to be. I can't critique his mixing. I was just that the Prime Minister was playing one of my tunes.
And as far as Prime Minister's DJing goes, I mean, he's probably up against other Prime Ministers.
Well, I had violin lessons with the English Prime Minister at school, so...
Really?
Wow.
I dropped that one in. Yeah.
Hang on, wait, what?
The new...
So you went
Keir Starmer.
Keir Starmer, you went to school with
I
him?
was in his class at school for 5 years. And which is really, it's weird for both of us because when he started singing my name, he's like,
Yes, sir.
"That's
Hang on.
Cook, that's Cook from 5K."
Yes.
You know, and then so I've been watching his sort of rise, and
That's wild.
weird getting texts off the Prime Minister.
I know.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Very different paths.
Yeah.
So, I didn't know... Do you play the
We
violin?
didn't know you went to school. No.
So what stuff were you doing at music at school then?
I did music O-level because I knew I wanted to be in pop
Yes.
music, but music O-level was like classical stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So
And
that's
I
like the
it's
final year high school, or
that was
year 10 kind of thing?
O-level,
Yeah, right.
GCSE.
Yeah.
But it was all classical stuff. It was pretty dull. But I learned some compositional theory and stuff like that.
so you can play the violin, and what else?
No, I actually forgotten that I played the violin. I think it was like one term, and my parents
Right.
just couldn't stand the noise.
It is learning
But no,
the violin is tough.
That was funny. It was Keir who actually reminded me. He went on. He was doing something. They said, "Tell us something you wouldn't know." And he went, "Oh, I used to play violin with Fatboy Slim." So I'd completely forgotten that I played the violin.
Yeah.
I was more of a guitar and keyboards man.
Yeah, right.
You know,
I did
Yeah.
grade 5 piano.
Yeah, okay.
we were talking about... I mean, everyone's been asked their favourite Fatboy Slim song, and a lot of us come up with Praise You straight
Yes.
away, right? So, because the film clip really stood out at its time, which is amazing, Ross had a different take on his. I want to hear...
This was my favourite. Because...
Huge song.
Yeah, huge. And I'm a bit embarrassed to say this, but when I was in high school, I used to listen to this song on Discman and picture myself standing up to the bully and say, "Right here." His eyes
It's
are
gonna be a
concerned.
show.
He never did it, but he pictured himself doing it.
Thank you.
That's really beautiful. No, because the thing is, both those tunes are kind of like memes. Like, obviously,
Yes.
Praise You works whether it's like a relationship or a sports team,
Yes.
and that whole we've come a long way together. But right here, right now, it's like one of those memes. It's like it means everything and yet nothing. It's like it doesn't actually mean anything, but it instills, like a lot of like my football team comes out to it, and I still get
Brighton.
Yeah. It's
I
a
still
pump
get
up.
goosebumps. So it sort of means, but that you standing up to a bully, I mean, that's beautiful.
He
I
didn't
didn't do it. It was just in my head.
You know,
in my head.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, it's probably just where you would have got a crap beaten out.
He was way bigger.
No, but the fact that it inspired you in that way.
Yeah.
It did. I'd listen to it.
I mean, that is the beauty of music. That
Yeah.
sometimes things that you didn't intend it that way. It can inspire you. I love that. I love that.
So
power
thank
of
you.
music.
Thank you. I felt great.
Probably just as well that you didn't.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I know. Look at his beautiful face. Your team, it's Brighton, right?
Yeah.
Are you the Seagulls?
Yeah.
I always find that
Seagulls.
it's not really an animal that's going to scare you.
Yeah.
You know when you think about...
You haven't messed with Brighton Seagull.
Oh, they love a chip.
they love. No, they'll have it out of your hand. They'll
Yeah.
have it. No, the Brighton Seagulls are really pretty
Aggressive.
feral.
Yeah.
They're like they've learned over the years how to mug tourists basically.
Yeah.
So if you're a Brightonian, you eat your chips in a certain way with your hand over the top.
That's how you
If
can.
not, they'll
That's
come
how you
down.
can
So
pick a local.
Don't mess with Brighton
Oh, okay,
Seagulls.
I'll write that down now. I'll remember that.
But my team is Albion. Brighton Hove Albion.
Langley Park tonight. You were here last year in Perth, and I know you don't have much downtime. You said you want to get some sunshine, but any Perth places you've been or checked out while you've been here in Perth, or?
Not really. The nature of Perth is that it's either the first or the last show in an Australian trip. which either means I just arrived with jet lag and every available moment is sleeping.
Yeah.
Or it's at the end of a tour
And you're tired.
I'm absolutely knackered, in which case every available moment is sleeping. But so I've never really felt like I've explored the...
So this is the beginning.
We wandered down to Fremantle.
Oh, yeah, nice.
And
our hood, yeah.
had lunch down there, and that was quite nice.
Fish and chips, mate.
Fish and
Down there,
chips.
seagulls were plenty.
Yeah, they won't see. They won't see. That's not a seagull.
Get beaten up by Brighton Seagull.
But yeah, no, I should spend more time. I mean, that's the beautiful thing about my job is I get to travel around the world and see beautiful places, meet people, make friends, have parties with huge amounts of people, and it's really beautiful. The downside is I never really get a chance to see, the real place or your local beauty spots or whatever. Occasionally we'll go to a museum. If we got a day off, we'll go to a museum or a botanical gardens or something like that.
Yeah. But you play in beautiful spots and stuff as well, because you play in, after this, you're off to Barrel, you were telling us, to play at a winery tomorrow.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I sort of come here every couple of years.
Yeah.
And we'd like to change it around a bit.
Yes.
I mean, I've played Red Hill Auditorium three times, then I moved on to the park. So you're trying not to repeat yourself. So this time we just thought doing the wineries,
mix it up.
It gives it a different atmosphere because it's kind of
It seems classier, doesn't it?
Well, it's not about classy. I mean, it's kind of it's more sort of all ages. It's less clubby, and you get a different atmosphere, and we can do a different thing. But it's just trying to change it up so you don't play the same venues every year.
Yeah, for sure.
I was going to ask you just mentioned about the downtime or partying or stuff like that. How much has your partying changed over the decades?
Well, I'm 16 years sober, so I don't do that kind
Well, there you go.
I do not do that kind of partying anymore.
Must have been intense in its day.
Oh, Christ. It was pretty messy.
Can you remember having a good time?
I remember I had a very, very good time, yes. No, it was really messy. No, I don't. I get all my kicks out of doing the gigs. I did 106 shows last year, so during those shows and around those shows, I feel like I'm part of the party. I don't feel like I had to have a drink while I'm doing it.
Yeah.
But no, my idea of partying is to go and watch my football team. Or, I don't. On my nights off, I don't hang around in nightclubs.
So, but you're a nighttime. It's a nighttime thing, DJing, and it can be late nights and that kind of thing. When do you sleep? Like, is your body clock all over the place between travelling and playing these nighttime gigs?
Much.
And
I did some judicious afternoon napping.
Yeah, I mean, so do we. To be fair,
I often have a little nap before my daughter gets home from school.
Yeah, nice. And do you still do like a season in Ibiza or anything like that? That must be big for you.
I don't do the whole season anymore. That's quite a commitment.
Yeah.
But we always have our family holiday, and that normally it's a family holiday, but it involves about 6 shows.
It's a tax-deductible family holiday, yeah.
Well, I'd see it more that we have a lovely big villa up in the north of the island away where it's quiet.
Yeah.
Yes.
And there's like 14 of there's like 4 families, and we always that's our thing. But
how nice.
And then I just have to nip down, play for a few hours, and then that pays for it.
But those few hours, is that like 2 a.m? Is that, or are you playing like afternoon shows now, like at 4 o'clock in the afternoon?
I wish. No, prime time in Ibiza is 3 till 5 a.m.
Yeah.
And I refuse to go on after 4. Because that's just... Well, it's for my age. I mean, what do you do? Do you go to bed and wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah, what do you do?
Because it's not like I'm going to hang
shift
around
work,
till 4 a.m. in the morning,
Yeah.
So, but no, in Ibiza, 3 till 5 that's that headline slot.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
I know, sure.
I would
Can
have
you
been in bed
imagine?
a long time
You'd be
ago.
in all sorts.
But that's better than Argentina. Argentina, 6 till 8 is the headline
Prime
slot.
time.
AM.
That's the big slot. By that time, everybody's got there, apparently.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh, how big's the crowd you've played in Argentina? I'd imagine it's massive.
Yeah, I'm having a bit of a moment in Argentina.
That's amazing, isn't it?
Well, it's funny because things come and go in waves.
Yeah,
I had a Brazilian time about 20 years ago.
Yes.
I had a very big Japanese thing. I've got a very constant Australian thing.
Yeah.
That's been a constant, but some kind of go. But the last couple of years in Mexico and Argentina, they've just been going nuts. And
they're on board.
About sort of the same size as I'm doing here, which is beautiful.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And have you? Is Brighton Beach still the biggest you've ever done? That 250,000 people at that free gig? Is that still the biggest?
No, I did Rio. I did Flamengo Beach in Rio. That was like 360.
That's crazy. Does that blow your mind?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Blows your mind and it makes your knees go a bit wobbly.
Yeah, I mean, they're all there for you. That is amazing.
Well, you try not to think about that.
Yeah.
You probably should try and picture them all naked so you don't get...
Well,
Sure.
in Brazil,
I mean,
mate, a lot
most
of
of
them
them
would
are,
be.
yeah. That wasn't hard.
That's a lot of breasts and genitals.
Yeah. Not a lot of hair.
That's what, 6'3", that's 840,000. I don't know.
That's a lot.
Yes, it's lovely to do it. But you know what? I actually enjoy the smaller gigs more.
Yes.
The big gigs, they're a big thrill, and it's great to have the kudos of doing it.
Yeah.
But I have to work quite hard. I have to, to keep that crowd, and you have to play the classics.
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
Everybody's saying, I much prefer. I'm playing Revs in Melbourne next week.
Yeah, right. Revolver, yeah.
Dirty, filthy late night club.
Yes, it is.
I get my kicks in there because I can really mess about and I don't have to take it too seriously.
Yeah, and you're taking in a bit of the Grand Prix as well?
I'm doing the Grand Prix as well, yeah. But at the end, I'll have to have my wits about me trying to translate what I do to a Grand Prix crowd. We were just having a conversation this morning about how many of the swear words I should take out of the set for the Grand Prix set.
Oh, yes, they're very prim and proper.
Well, I don't know.
Are they though?
I've been watching that Drive to Surprise.
Survive.
Oh, it's a great show.
Drive to Survive. I've been watching that with my daughter.
Yeah.
There's quite a lot of profanity in
Yeah, I
that.
think you'll be all right.
They're not going to be too shocked.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we love your work. People are absolutely frothing the fact they're playing Langley Park tonight.
Oh, yeah.
That's a great word.
Good word, isn't it?
Frothing.
Yeah, you can still get tickets, believe it or not.
Get along.
Frontiertouring.com. That'd be the very last tickets in town. But Norman Cook, Fatboy Slim, thank you so much for coming in.
Well, thanks for having me.
I mean,
Thank you,
your
mate.
jet lag is our gain because
thanks
it means
for
you're up
putting
and
the
about
word
early.
frothing into it.
You're welcome.
I'm going to be thinking
you
that
can,
all
You can use
afternoon.
that as my gift to you.
I can't wait for this evening's froth.
Yeah, they'll be frothing you. Don't worry about that.
This is the Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
Okay, the Formula One has hit Melbourne, as we know. We've been following all the action and all the publicity over this week. You can watch it, by the way, on Channel 10. Tim McDonald will be one of the greats we can talk to about the Formula One because he is the most passionate man in the world.
When we think F1 aficionado, we think that guy from the cheap seats.
Tim, good morning.
Tim.
When we think F1 gate crasher, we think me. It's amazing to be here. I don't know how I managed to get past security. I don't even have a job this weekend. I'm just gate crashing. I can't wait. It is the best 3 days of the year for a motorsport fan.
It does look like you've won a competition when you're on the F1 coverage, I'll be honest.
I do feel like a Make-A-Wish kid at some times, but it is a dream come true to be here with 400,000 fans, 2 Aussies on the grid, first race of the year. It is so exciting.
Oh, it certainly is, Tim. Hey, I recently have got a lanyard so then I can walk around various football stadiums to be able to go in any area. Now, you must have a lanyard like that to be able to walk around Albert Park?
Yes, and in Melbourne, the rule is if you've got a lanyard, a high-vis vest and a hard hat, you can get in anywhere. So thankfully, security haven't cottoned on. I haven't been kicked out yet, so it is only Friday. So there's every chance that by Sunday I might be out.
Tim, I've been looking at your Insta, and you do look like a fan there, but there's a lot of the stars in the background that I see you filming. Anyone particular you're excited about? Have you got any selfies, chatted with them?
Oh, fangirling, you're saying?
Yeah, fangirling.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, big time. I was lucky enough to speak to 2 of the drivers yesterday, Alex Albon and Ollie Behrman, 2 young rookies.
Yep.
They're amazing. It's Lewis Hamilton's first weekend at Ferrari. Everyone's trying to get close to him. I managed to get within 5 kilometres of him yesterday, so hopefully we're going to get a little bit closer. My selfie stick's not that long, so...
Ferraris are fast.
And, of course, Oscar Piastri, everybody's talking about him because he's got the burger named after him, so there's a lot of heat on him as well.
You know you've made it when you've got a grilled, special, limited release only burger. It's unbelievable. Genuinely, though, he is a real chance to win this weekend. We've never had an Aussie win the Australian Grand Prix. He's in the fastest car. There's every chance that he could be on the top step of the podium. So it might not be a burger. It may be a trophy. But either way, he's won this weekend.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting this season. There's probably about 6 guys who could take out the title this year. I mean, everyone's going to be on Max Verstappen's hammer. But having Lewis in a new car, obviously, Lando Norris with the McLaren the way he was going at the end of last season in particular, those guys took out the Constructors' Championship. But Oscar's that chance. I always feel, and we kind of mentioned this the other day, Tim, and you'd be all over this, that it seems like to me that Lando Norris is certainly the number one in that team. And I know that they had chances during the year where Oscar was in front and he had to let Lando go, and vice versa. That happened at the end where he got Oscar, that is, was able to go past Lando in one of the last races. But it does feel like he's
still
almost up against the team.
He is. However, he can turn that around if he wins early. To be honest, they're both even at the start of the season, and it'll be after 5 or 6 races or so, whoever's in front, the team usually get behind. So all Oscar has to do is beat Lando. If he wins this weekend and in the next few races, he really sets up for it. I agree. 6 drivers could win.
Yep.
But on Sunday, it's a 90% chance of rain, which usually means 20 guys can win. It really mixes it up.
Yep.
The action's going to be epic. We don't know how fast they are. This is the first race. So anything can happen. It all starts today, and then obviously qualifying Saturday, the race on Sunday, the after party Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Tim, did you go to Glamour on the Grid? That's turned into quite the date on the social scene in Melbourne.
Look, I did get an invite. It's a wonderful night full of the who's that of the Australian influencer community.
Yes.
And you look at someone and you go, are you one of the waiters or have you got 100,000 TikTok followers?
Or are you
no idea.
Beck Judd? We don't know.
I've got no idea. There were so many stars there. None of them you'd recognise.
That's right. They all recognise each other because they're looking at each other, spending the whole day just looking. I was that.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I reckon I was the only one at Glamour on the Grid wearing tarot cash. So it's never a good sign.
Nothing wrong with tarot cash.
I didn't belong, but we're here now, so it's all good.
Hey, Tim, when I've previously been to the F1s, the one thing that lasted when I walked away and, a few days later was the fact that noise just kept going through my
the
head.
ringing in your ears.
Those cars go around bends and take off. It is amazing. It begins today. The guys get to zing around the track. That'll last for you, no doubt, as well?
Yeah, the noise, it rings in my head for the next 3 weeks. I can't hear anything my family says. Not always a bad thing. So the noise is amazing. The smell is incredible. Even the speed, when you're up here close, they're doing 100 k's an hour in pit lane. So when it looks like they're going slow on TV, they're absolutely sanging it. Although being Australia, I think we need a couple of tweaks. If it was really the Australian Grand Prix, we'd have 5 school zones, some roadworks, and an unfinished tunnel. So
100%.
It's not really like driving in Australia, but it's the next best thing.
Yeah, and some weird parking signs where you don't know if you have to buy a ticket or not.
Wouldn't that be great if they came into pit lane and then had to get out of the car to understand whether it's a tow zone, a loading zone, how long they're allowed to park? That'd be unbelievable.
And you know what the local rangers are like? They're
exactly.
onto it, mate. They're not letting anyone get through.
100%. Even if you're in a Formula One car, that wouldn't be enough. They'd still get out the ticket.
I know. Where do you put it?
Yeah, it's hard when there's no windscreen wiper on these things. Just stick it under.
Love your work, Tim. We look forward. It's going to be a massive weekend. And
For sure.
Right across Channel 10, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We'll be seeing a lot of you, I'm sure. Thanks for talking to us this morning.
Thanks so much for having me, guys. Enjoy the day.
Good on you, mate.
Thanks, mate.
It's the Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
We were speaking before work this morning about things we've got on after today's play. Amy, our producer.
Good morning.
Hello.
Is off to a school shindig, Amy?
Yes, a school assembly today.
Yep.
Yep.
What's going on?
So I'll whisper this.
Okay. Yeah, you have to.
So
Because the person involved doesn't know, right?
That's right. Hopefully he's not listening. First certificate this morning.
And that's a big moment. How do you feel? How do you feel?
I'll get emotional when I'm there.
Yeah.
I'm okay now, but it's when you see them stand up there.
Oh, yeah, and they're so
like,
proud.
Year one. So they're so tiny.
And then
I know.
and then I said that my son got an equivalent certificate. He's 5. He's in pre-primary, and his was for sitting still and having his hands on his lap.
She's a low bar.
Right, yeah, exactly, because they weren't on his doodle at that age.
No, they were on his lap, so yeah, probably they were.
That's a win.
Amy, it's still fairly early in the term, so he must be one of the good kids. You know what I mean? It's not like they're getting late in the year and they've looked at the
that's
list
a
and
good
went,
point, Nat.
you haven't given one to everybody yet, and we'll make something up. Like, that is legit.
Yeah, or no one's doing anything good and they're just like,
Wow.
Oh,
What do you think he might get it for? Like, snappiest dresser. He's a very sharply presented young boy. Like, he really cares about what he wears
he's
and
a
stuff.
parent. Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe his pen grip.
Oh, okay.
Pencil grip.
Yes,
so
a deal.
he has a real random one.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
yeah,
they've been
I'm in no
working on
position to
They've been
criticise.
working on it since the start of the year. So worse than that, Nat.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so he's like bottom
So
fingers
he
are
holds
at the
it with
top
his feet.
Yeah, pretty much. So maybe I'm not sure.
Yeah.
You know.
Well,
it's
we'll
exciting
see.
nonetheless. Ross, you were talking about a trophy that exists
every day when we pick up the Ollie, one of the kids comes out with a giant trophy that's half their size with the biggest smile on their face. It's the Kind trophy. So you do something kind, you get it, but Ollie's never got it. And he goes, I want the Kind trophy. And then you have to say, like, oh, you would have won it if we were at home. Yeah, massive Kind trophy. I think it's great because everyone gets
very cute.
But then people get left out. I'm waiting.
No, they don't because, as Nat says, because the teachers have got the list, right?
Yeah.
And you're right, Nat, because there's people down the bottom. You're scratching as a teacher.
Yeah.
What the hell am I going to pick out here?
Look for any tiny little kind thing that they might do.
Yeah.
Oh, look, they picked up that pen. Congratulations. You've done it. So you know that he's not the best kid in the class if he gets the kindness trophy in November.
Yeah, at the end of the year. But he said, I just told him do kind things, and you.
Yeah, well, I mean that is the key.
Yeah, for the Kind trophy.
But also you've got to do kind things publicly so everybody sees them. Like it's no point being kind if nobody's watching.
He's really loud.
I mean, there is in life, but when there's a trophy at stake, he's got.
Do you need help with the playground?
I'm helping you. You really got to think it through. Well, and
It's so cute.
there's been another milestone.
Yeah,
Amy.
just received a photo message from my husband, and James has lost his first tooth, everybody. So that's exciting.
Big day.
Big day.
Amy, you're not even there. What a terrible mother.
Sean. She has to
I just
work.
knew that would work on her.
You are
You're
a
a monster.
horrible person. No surprises.
No Kind trophy for you.
No, exactly.
The Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
Nat, I know you read this story, Ross. I'm not sure if you've come across this because you normally just stick into the paper, right?
Did you read the papers
I
today?
did read the paper this morning, but you just mentioned something and I didn't read this, so I could just be silent here, which is probably...
No, join in, mate.
Okay.
The people of Manjimup and Bridgetown are up in arms at the moment. Well, they're maybe not necessarily up in arms, but...
I think they're
Laura,
more disappointed than angry.
Why?
It's good. Because Laura Robinson had taken over her husband's shuttle business.
Bus.
So and he was running people around town
Yeah.
for a fee.
He passed away, which is
And
really
he
tragic.
passed away, unfortunately, over a year ago. So Laura took up arms and she took on that role as running the shuttle.
Yeah, so it's essentially like a taxi service, but because in country towns, nobody does this. So it's really tricky if you are in the situation where you've had a few beers and you want to get home, or you've your car's broken down, or your car's getting serviced and you want to get home and get back again to pick it up. All of that sort of stuff that we don't think about because we've got Ubers and taxis if we want them. But in country towns, you don't have that luxury.
That one person would know everyone in the town and they would be relied on so heavily.
Can you imagine the drunk secrets she knows?
Let's get her. Let's get her on. This would be amazing. So she decided, as Natalie said to me off air, she decided to go and live her life, which she should do in different ways. You know, if you've been down, everyone's been down south in Dunsborough a few times when you get on the blower from Cave's house because everyone's had a Sunday session. There's this guy that looks like the doctor out of... the mad scientist out of Back to the Future.
Yep.
And I see him out surfing all the time. Anyway, when you jump in his shuttle, he just charges everyone a set fee between $15 and $20. So he has like 10 people in his car.
Yeah.
$200 a go.
Yeah.
And just drives them home and then goes back and gets the next lob of people.
And you're that happy to get home, you don't care. Like
I know.
$20, that seems decent. But you're right. He's got 10 people in there, so he's just made $200 for half an hour's work.
Yeah.
It's not bad if you can, you can do it.
Absolutely. Unfortunately for the people of Manjimup, they have to use their bike, Nat, and we know what happens if you're riding home from the pub on your
Don't do
pushy.
it after a few rosés because you'll fall off and break your arm and then not realise it's broken and just keep walking around with a broken arm until you go, I think my arm's broken. And then you get it scanned again because the x-rays didn't show it up. I mean, it's just a hypothetical.
Yeah.
But it definitely did happen to me. It's coming good, though. Luckily, it's not my drinking arm. That's this arm.
That's right.
What could go wrong?
Nathan, Nat and Shaun is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcasts.com.au. Nova.